Hello and welcome to another game of Company of Heroes 3. My name is Fancy Josh, and today we've got a game between xizi20 and Reakly. Now, Reakly is top 10 in the world. I believe as the US, he's extremely highly rated as most of the armies. So I'm expecting some pretty crazy high-level play out of him. Zizi, on the other hand, is Dixie? I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I have seen this person play before. I don't think that game made it onto my channel. But he is quite good, and I'm looking forward to this match. Map is Villa Fiore? Fiore? I don't know how to pronounce that, like many things in this game. I think it's a really interesting map. You have a pretty big cutoff point here that's kind of deeply exposed, but the middle is extremely cluttered, so it's not exactly easy to just set up and camp on your opponent's cutoff point. You do get two free, free resources here on the side, and yeah, there's a little bit of a cutoff point, but honestly, this one is the one that matters a lot, and of course, it's mirrored on the other side. Both players opening pretty standard. You know, I've been seeing more and more of this leaning into more Pioneer squads, or Panzer Pioneer squads in this case, in the early game. I think players really like the capture power that it gives you. Yeah, I mean, it's just really strong. You get a ton of squads out right away. So, see if he has anything special in mind for those Panzer Pioneers, or if he's just looking to get that early map control. US player, open with the Scout into 2 Riflemen. I think that's a fine opening. Gives you a little bit of capture power. I think it also helps your manpower flow smoothly, as opposed to having idle time in the early game as far as creating squads. German players added on a half-track, as well as a Panzer Grenadier squad. Give him that added firepower that he needs, bringing down multiple Pioneer squads to help assist in this battle. Now, something that I don't get to talk a lot about is in Company of Heroes 3, they've added the concept of high ground. This is new in the series, a new concept. When you're firing from high ground onto low ground, it does, I believe it gives you increased damage. Or maybe increased, let me see if I can catch the, yeah, see, every time I go to catch it, I know it's good. You want it, bottom line. This map in particular showcases that mechanic because of the high ground right in the center of the map. So I expect we'll be seeing players use that high ground to their advantage, maybe lock down the center before making a move on their opponent's territory. Nice. There's a recon squad down here going deep on the German player's territory, capturing away that fuel, denying it to his opponent. German player's gonna, excuse me, put a stop to that. Rifleman grabbing away this fuel. And right now, our US player is putting on a clinic. He is got the German player all hemmed up in his base. I love this scout squad acting like it disappeared, but just hiding in the wings here. German player having to commit 2 Panzer Pioneer squads to deal with it. Meanwhile, US player continues to capture away territory. Got squads keeping an eye on things. Nice. German player added a flamethrower onto this half-track. Onto this Pioneer squad that he's got loaded up in the half-track. This is a very common strategy. It used to be really, really big in Company of Heroes 2. There was a period of time where you could get a squad with 2 flamethrowers and put it in a half-track and go absolutely buck wild. They nerfed that build, but I'm happy to see it in this game as well. Rifleman flanking this half-track. Half-track's going to try and back up, but it's running out of map space here. Looks like we're going to see a grenade come out, abandoning the vehicle so that he doesn't lose any models. Nicely done. German player capturing territory on the bottom side. U.S. player came back in with that recon squad that he'd hidden away and took away this field point again. That is so obnoxious. I'm going to have to remember that because I'm going to do that to somebody in one of my games. Alright, both players have locked in their battle group choice. Our Afrika Korps player's gone for armored support. This is going to give him access to flamethrower tanks and the command panzer tank as well. And of course, he's opening with the superior fire drills for that 100% damage on machine guns mounted on vehicles. US player, on the other hand, has gone for heavy weapons, picking up the M3 assault carrier right away. So and he's actually added one on, if I could use my eyes. So this half-track is crazy effective. We'll see that later in the heavy weapons tree that our US player is probably going to pick up the interchangeable parts, which makes it so he can switch from this AA half-track into an anti-tank half-track and vice versa. It makes this unit incredibly versatile. It also gives them additional health and makes it really, really tough to dislodge them. Now, this is a great attack by our German player. This is going to be a good trade for him. Can you get it? You got him. Nice. That was a great trade for our German player. So that, you got a huge discount. That Panzerjäger squad costs $275, and he also gets a half-track with it. A half-track by itself is $240. Nice grenades on the retreat, picking up some of the members of that Pioneer squad. And, yeah, so, I mean, he just got a massive discount, and he managed to clean up a half-track, which is something like 200 manpower and 30 fuel. Let's take a quick look. How much is it? Yeah, 250, 30, so, I mean, that's a really good trade for our German player, and he managed to keep the Panzerjäger alive, so he's going to be much more effective again. He's going to continue to be effective against vehicles. All right, a little bit quiet for right now. Map pretty even. German player has a slight fuel income advantage, and they are equal on munitions. US player adding on another half-track. I expect we'll see him spamming these half-tracks for a while. Flamethrower, or rifleman pushing away those Panzer Grenadiers, but this flamethrower is probably going to beat these riflemen. Scout squad, looks like they want to go capture that fuel point. And that's exactly how you want to be using your scout squads, by the way. They capture and decapture faster, but they're not very effective in combat, and our US player is demonstrating exactly how to use them, which is to keep them in the wings, keep them capturing territory, being annoying. German player's adding on a flak half-track. Going to be effective against everything our US player currently has on the field, including that half-track. Now, he does have to be careful because this half-track can upgrade to a anti-tank or anti-vehicle variant, which is dangerous. Dangerous to that flak half-track. Grenade coming out. Dodging it away there. Panzer Grenadier squad pushing in, pushing those scouts off that point. But, I mean, just look at this. Look at this value. This scout squad is pulling away multiple units from the German squad while he captures on the left side. And, I mean, that's an incredible use of just one unit. So, take notes, folks. Game's still pretty even. The German player is definitely hurting for victory points. US player's done a great job controlling all 2 or 3 of the victory points throughout this entire game. And we'll see what our German player wants to do about it. I think he needs to make a move in the middle here, but he's not sure where that half-track is. And he wants to be careful that he doesn't step into it, because if he loses this flak half-track, he's going to be in deep trouble. Scout squad again trying to take away this point. Our German player put down some mines to deal with it. He might have tried to pick up the scout squad on the retreat. That's going to be looking like a dead scout squad. Can he get him? Got him. Good pickup. That was an important pickup for our German player. He really needed to get rid of some of that, some of the U.S. players' capturing power. The U.S. players added on a bazooka squad to try and deal with this flak half-track. And our German player has added on a ambulance to heal up his units. German player picking up this much-needed victory point. U.S. player coming down to have a say about it. Looks like the flak half-track moved off this point. So the German is going to be able to seize that point away from him. Big push by the German player on this side of the map. That AA half-track's going to move up, make his life difficult. Looks like he's going to rotate into the middle, which I think is a good choice, but the U.S. player's there and waiting for him. Flak half-track moving in to support the infantry. Looks like both vehicles thinking about doing the same thing. Got a big brawl here in the middle. Both players taking decent cover. That rifleman's got to get out of there. Bazooka squad coming in on the side of this flak half-track. Nice grenade on the engineers. They're out of there as well. And it does look like our U.S. player is going to have to give up this fight. There's a nice flank by those Panzer Grenadiers on the bazooka squad. And yeah, I'd love to see our German go ahead and move in there and capture that point right away. He is paying respect to this half-track here, which I don't blame him. U.S. player still has the top side locked down. German player desperately needs to pick up a couple points here, repairing up his flak half-track with his engineers. Capturing this fuel point. Flak half-track is just barely out of range, can't see him there. Now he can. And actually, I don't think this flak half-track wants this fight. AT unit moving up. Can he get a shot in? That'd be big. Come on. Hit him. Ugh! Just barely not fast enough. Rifleman squad moving in here. Flak half-track pushing down to push away the riflemen. Big push on the top side. Panzer Grenadiers with flamethrowers moving those scouts out of their building. Scouts going for the fuel point right now. Flak half-track wrecking those riflemen. Panzer Grenadiers trying to hold back this bazooka squad. Looks like our U.S. player has added on 2 bazooka squads here. AT gun out of position a little bit, but is being supported by this flak half-track, so I guess it's not the end of the world there. He did manage to get some hits on the half-track there. I wouldn't mind seeing him attack ground, break this wall a little bit. Looks like he's going to reposition instead. German player has teched up to the flame panzer. So this is going to be pretty devastating for our U.S. player to deal with. Actually don't think bazooka squads are a good enough counter to it. But I think probably see our U.S. player add on some more half-tracks, or he may tech up to tanks of his own. How far away is he from tanks? Yeah, he's not close. So, pushing in, getting hit by AT grenades. Conversion to an anti-tank half-track there. That's good for our U.S. player. He might be able to pick up this flame panzer. There is infantry support here. So, looks like the German player is going to get out. I think he wants to save his flak panzer. He wants to save his flame tank over his flak panzer, so he's going back in. Looks like the German player, or U.S. player, is happy to oblige and take away that flak panzer. Don't think these bazooka squads are going to pick this guy up. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. Nice pickup. That was absolutely worth trading those bazookas for that flame panzer. And what a bloodbath here in the middle. Looks like our U.S. player is barraging with his gun carriage there. German player salvaging. That's with this salvage kit he gets from his battle group, so that's going to give him some of those resources back. And that can really add up. German player adding back on another flame panzer. I think that's a fine decision. So I'm looking at our US player here, and he is 4 command points away from being able to afford a Pershing tank. And our German player could probably be anticipating that because he has seen literally 0 tanks. He's seen a total of 2 half-tracks from our US player. So in the back of his mind, he should have the feeling that there is a ton of fuel for our US player. And 4 points at this stage, 4 command points at this stage in the game is going to go by really, really fast. And before our German player knows it, he's going to have to deal with Pershing tank. German player calling in a assault grenadiers squad in a half-track for a discount. We're all breaking out down here with that squad. They're going to capture that point away. You know, I've been so distracted by these big old fights that I have not been paying attention to victory points, and our German player is definitely in jeopardy when it comes to victory points right now. He's going to need to take and hold 1.5 victory points for pretty much the rest of the game. And I think he's in a good position to do so in the mid-game here. He did wipe out all of his opponent's vehicles, as well as 1 bazooka squad. So, you know, he's doing okay. I mean, he definitely has a ton of units. But again, our US player is just saving up, right? We might even see our US player not add on any more squads for the next 2 minutes or so while he tries to save up for this Pershing. German player salvaging all these wrecks. It's really good for him, giving him a ton of fuel and manpower that he wouldn't otherwise have. Big push here. US player just looking to trade, right? He's just trying to build up command points here. So any amount of kills he can get are good for him. That flame panzer is too far forward. However, the AT grenades did not come out from our US player because he has no munitions. And this map is looking awful choppy for our US player. German player's managed to cut off a significant amount of resources, and now he's capturing it away. So, yeah, picking up more wrecks, keep doing that, keep giving yourself that income, that's really good. German players added on a Panzer IV command tank here. But this thing does not have very good armor penetration. Pretty decent against infantry and light vehicles, but it's not going to do much against the Pershing that we'll be seeing in short order here. So our German player, I like this idea to bring up his medical truck, right? He's got an amazing foothold deep into his opponent's territory. He doesn't want to give it up, so he's bringing all his units forward to refresh them on the field without having them to send them back to base. Of course, this is high risk, high reward, right? Because if the US player catches out that medical truck, it's going to be dead pretty quick. Flame Panzer going hard after those Bazooka squad. I think that's a good decision. Love to see our US player add on a AT gun, but I don't think he's teched up to it. Yeah, he hasn't. So, this is a bit greedy by our US player. I don't have a problem with him being this greedy, though, because he's so far ahead in victory points. And if he gets this Pershing out, while keeping all the squads he currently has alive, it's going to be lights out for our German player for a while. That said, I mean, he's had to give up pretty much the entire map because of how greedy he's playing. And he is half a command point away. So basically one more fight ought to do it for him. Nice sneaky capture by these engineer squads on the right side. It's crazy to me that our U.S. player has been able to even hold this side. Wouldn't mind seeing the Germans send like 1 or 2 squads over there to capture. That's a dead engineering squad, isn't it? They got a good retreat path. Maybe. Defending, covering the retreat of that squad with his own squads. Rifleman having to back off this Panzer. Man tank. Nice AT gun. AT grenade, that is. So I definitely don't agree with this choice to add on a Panzer III. Flame Panzer, that is. I think our German needs a lot of AT, and he needs it right now. And I think that call-in is probably going to come back to bite him in the next few minutes when he realizes just how much anti-tank he needs. Burning those engineers, are they dead? Not quite. Pushing away, trying to push away the Flame Panzer. Flame Panzer trying to pick up the med station. It gets it. Look at that extremely blue map. Okay, so I see why he added on this Flame Panzer, right? He wants to be able to control more areas of the map at the same time. So I guess I don't mind his decision as much, but I think he's going to regret it right now, because here comes the Pershing. Pershing doing huge damage to those Panzer Grenadiers there. Yeah, Panzerjägers chasing the Pershing a little bit. They should be bouncing most of their shots right off the front armor. Having to bail out of there. Good use of the Pershing, keeping it at max range. AT gun set up, but as we saw just a second ago, its shells were bouncing right off the front. I like this U.S. player being sneaky. I mean, he's been sneaky all game long, but he's continuing to be sneaky, and it's letting him, slow the bleeding a little bit. Pershing pushing in to try and save that squad. It's going to work. He might even pick up the AT gun, because there's no way our German player can stand up to that level of firepower. The AT gun is literally the only threat. Next highest priority threat is this Panzer IV command tank, but even then it's barely. Smart decision taking out the AT gun so his opponent can't recrew it. Big shots coming into that Panzer IV. He does need to retreat there. And as you can see, our German has literally no way to deal with this Pershing. That Pershing can do absolutely anything it wants, and I think that our German player needs to let it do what it wants, because he can't stop it. German player does have enough manpower to call in an AT gun. Wouldn't mind him using this Pack 38 mechanized group. Flamethrower squad being annoying, might pick up this bazooka squad, or he just might lose his Panzer for free. Okay, it wasn't totally free, but that was not a great use of that Panzer. Yeah, and I feel a little bad. I'm ragging on our German player a little bit hard here. I think that, This games like this are educational for all of us, right? Because our German was in a desperate situation, and he made the right units to get himself back in the game, right? And he played well, despite being at a significant deficit. But then his decision-making faltered slightly, right? He should have recognized the fuel discrepancy and how the U.S. player was playing, and he possibly could have made different decisions to keep himself in this game. Of course, the game is not over, and I don't mean to make it sound like it's over, because it's not, but our German player has an uphill battle ahead of him. He's making the right decisions, right? He's adding on 2 pack guns. He did call in a pack gun. I think that's really good. If he can keep this command tank alive, he's going to be feeling really good. AT guns helping out there. The thing about the Pershing, though, is it doesn't have a ton of health, but it has a ton of armor, and you can see these shells just bouncing right off the front of that Pershing. And now this Pershing is up to Veterancy 2 already. It's going to give it higher DPS. I mean, this thing is insanely mobile. So, like, that tank is going to be very, very scary for our German to deal with. German doing a good job holding victory points, though. He's delaying the U.S. players' advance across the map. Still making excellent use of this medical truck, right? He's keeping his squads in the fight and on the map. Using that Pershing to push away a relatively insignificant squad. Might pick them up, though. Yeah, I think that's a dead squad. So, no squad is insignificant in terms of capturing power. I just meant that that squad was relatively insignificant for the German players' composition as a whole, right? Using that half-track to that Pershing, bouncing 2 shells right off the front of that Pershing's armor. We've got a Stuka Loiter coming in here. I think it's a Stuka Loiter. Yeah, anti-tank Loiter, pushing away that Pershing. Basically going to give him control over this entire center point for the next 60 seconds. Rolling into this capture, rolling into this cutoff point to deny his deny resources to opponent. I think that's a great decision. So long term, trying to figure out what our German player's plan is long term. And it looks like his plan is to add on more anti-infantry and basically just ignore the Pershing situation. So far, it's working okay for him. I would say he's definitely lost some units, but those were the units that were not being helpful anyway. For example, the half-track, I think he lost a Pioneer squad or 2. So, Pershing needs to get involved here a little bit. The dead Bazooka squad, nice pickup. So yeah, I mean, our German player's saving grace is that he is really, really minimizing the amount of infantry he has to deal with. And that Stuka Loiter on this thing really did a number. Looks like he's committing for this Pershing. I'd say that's pretty questionable. Big hit on that Panzer IV. He should live if he gets behind the wall. There's the AT grenade to take him out. Pershing pulling these infantry into the HMG nest while this Flame Panzer burns all the infantry of the US player. Pershing coming back in to finish off the Flame Panzer. Nice shot there. Pack's moving up. You get a shot on this Pershing, but unfortunately for him, Pershing is going to get out of range there. Getting good hits, though. There's a chance. But now that's both dead packs there, so that's a pretty big gift to the US player there. Yeah, and that's the end of it. So I liked what the German was trying to do, right? He was being really, really aggressive, trying to pin the U.S. player in his base, trying to pick up those infantry. And so I liked that last push from him, but he stayed too long, right? He definitely overstayed his welcome. And unfortunately for him, the packs weren't there to back up the push. So by the time the packs did show up, they weren't contributing anything, and then he just basically gifted them to his opponent. So that was a fun game to watch. I liked the shift in power that we saw, right? Where it was US ahead, then it was German ahead, and then US came back with that Pershing. So definitely a lesson in composition, decision-making, and when and when not to be aggressive. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, the game as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video.